This is the Horse Radio Network.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller-Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us.
So last week I was at Ohio Equine Affair, right? And it was the first time I'd ever gone to this event, and I didn't really know how it was going to go. And I found myself working really hard because Ohio is more Western than I had anticipated. And sometimes it's hard to convince people that like a book about an eventer doesn't come, you don't have to have like a PhD in English writing in order to read my books.
Read the book.
You're allowed to read about other disciplines. It's fine. But literally 2 times people walked past my table, glanced at me, looked forward again, and then glanced back and said, "Oh my God, love the podcast," and kept walking.
You were recognized?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But not for the reason I was there. So that was hilarious to me. I was like reverse recognized.
Well, actually, that happened to me today. Do you want to hear the story? Yeah,
yes.
Literally just today. So a couple of weeks ago, someone had reached out wanting to do a massage session for their horse. So I made it work in the schedule. They had to reschedule for some reason. And today was the day that I showed up. So I get out of the car and I walk up and I'm like, "Oh, hey, I'm Heather." She goes, "I know. I listen to your podcast. That's why you're here." And I was like, "Say what?" And it was so cool. So apparently she just started listening to the podcast a month ago, binged everything. So apparently we're binge worthy. Hashtag amazing.
I think we're binge worthy.
Still was interested in meeting me in person. So she was like, "I didn't know, there was someone local to do massage. So I thought I'd have you out. And I'm a big fan." And so we started talking and it was so cool. I felt kind of famous for a minute. But we took a picture. So I'm going to upload it in the clubhouse later because it was really cool to meet her.
That is fun. Yeah, the people that yelled back to me very wisely didn't want to meet me. They knew that wasn't going to go. They were like, maybe Heather. If Heather were there.
Are you saying you're not the approachable one?
I don't know that I give off that vibe. Let me just state for the record that I'm fully approachable.
You are.
I don't bite. I am very much all talk.
Well, and also you do really well if people come up and say like, "You're amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to drink a gin and tonic with you." Mm-hmm. Like you have your soft spots, or like I love miniature horses and also think ponies named Ben are super cute, right? Yeah. Like you're approachable.
It's like approaching, you hand out and the marshmallow in the middle of your hand and I will gobble it off of your hand. Loop, loop, loop. It won't be weird at all. And I'll have a marshmallow.
No, I think we talk about how weird we are, but really, I don't know if anyone else notices.
They notice with me.
I was trying to be nice. Come on.
I was with a group of people at an event recently, and I was with 2 people, and one person had never met me before, and that person was talking about babies, and the other person who had met me before said like, "Oh, that's really cute," and I said, "I hate babies." I just
They're not for everybody.
And I could have said anything else. And I just went with my gut. My gut said, "Ew, baby." And so did my mouth.
Hashtag make it awkward, Natalie.
Yeah. I've always been like that. I take things too far. Because I don't know. Why bother pretending?
Well, speaking of taking things too far, Glenn called me the other day to talk about some stuff for the Horse Radio Network. And I told him I have a problem with the filter. He sent me a text. He's like, "Oh, do you have a minute?" And so I was like, "Yeah, I have a minute right now." And he calls me and the first thing I said was, "Is it weird that when you do this, I feel like I'm in trouble with my dad?" So now all I want to do is call him my podcast daddy, and I don't know how that's going to go over.
Podcast daddy.
So for any auditors out there who listen to the Horse Radio Network, like, what do you think? Give us a poll. Should I refer to him publicly as podcast daddy, or should I just maybe pretend that never happened?
I do feel like I did see Glenn at Equine Affair, and I do feel like every time I make eye contact with Glenn, I think I've said so many dumb things about this very nice person that I honestly I've only talked to a few times, and it's always been thoroughly enjoyable. So why do I say such stupid things just to get attention, really? But then I have to talk to him in real life sometimes and be like, Natalie, why can't you just behave yourself? I don't know.
Oh, I never behave myself. That's why he wants to hang out with me. So I feel
he doesn't want to hang out with me. So.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
I don't think so.
But I thought it was funny because like I don't have that brain to mouth filter that a lot of people do. And I had to give a presentation the other day about saddle fit to a group of trail riders that are local and things like that. And I was like telling myself, okay, Heather, this isn't the podcast. You have to rein it in. Filter yourself. Pretend this is work, And I had to be on my best behavior.
You should get a little tattoo on your hand that says like, turn it down. And then when you're doing something for work, you flip that hand onto your podium or whatever it's just in front of you and it just says turn it down. Like, okay, hand, I'm going to turn it down.
It's like a little reminder I just walk away with constantly and just
that
say,
you just
okay,
ink into your skin. Yeah. Or I guess less permanently, you could get like a specific, maybe like a bracelet or a ring that is like red and that's your warrant. You put that on when you're doing a job. So it flashes in front of you.
What about we just have a different color ribbon that we could put in my hair like horses do at horse shows? Because we're going to talk about horse shows today. So is there maybe a color that I could wear and braid into my hair and say like, this is Heather's kicking moment or Heather's marish moment or, Heather's good girl moment.
You do look great in red.
Yeah. So I'm a kicker, right? There
yeah.
I actually would. I'd probably be more of a biter if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I don't know what color that would be, but yeah, whatever works.
It's a reason to light and I are like the same brain. Well, I am super well. First of all, I am super excited to see your face because I missed you.
I know.
I had a little FOMO while you were away without me partying it up with the other authors.
Oh, well, I mean, when Sarah admitted that gin and tonic she got me was a double, I had a good laugh. Because, because Sarah Welk-Bayman, who is an author pal of ours and an auditor, she came up and promptly sold every single book she'd brought with her, like some sort of machine.
She is a local, too, which there's a power in that.
Yeah, that could be, although she writes about Florida, so...
Well, she also writes fiction, and it's what? She's whatever. She's the golden child. That's okay. We can like her.
It's good. We kind of worked together. So I would be like, and these are my books and these are Sarah's books. And she would do the same. So we were like a little team. And then she moseyed off and then she came back right like a half hour before close with a drink. And so we were having a little happy hour. And then this really nice man with like a 13-year-old daughter comes up and I'm explaining my titles to him. With his daughter in mind, and I'm finding it harder to wrap my lips around my spiel than I usually would.
Uh-oh.
And I thought that's weird. I mean, I did have a very light lunch, but gee, and it turns out that it was in fact a make mine a double situation. Like, I can sell on one, but on
a double
two,
is for post sales day.
Yeah, and a bit more substantial lunch. She made me eat the Ohio bourbon chicken, which is just it's white rice and then like chicken that's been sort of tossed in like sweet and sour sauce or something. So Sarah, I love you, but that was appalling. Don't ever do that again.
I think I'll avoid that. Thanks.
It was awful.
I also don't eat chicken if I can help it ever. So that's just me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a pretentious bitch.
I guess so.
Well, I just find chicken to be rather boring, and I grew up eating it in my house every day.
Yeah.
My mom made roast chicken 3 nights a week, and you can only have so much chicken before you want to throw it out the window. So.
And that was a bland time period for food. Like,
yeah,
food
the
didn't
80s and
taste like
90s.
much in the 80s. So, do you remember the commercials for Chicken Tonight? Like, I still think about those.
I still remember the shaken cake was all over my TV.
Yeah, everybody ate so much chicken and it didn't taste like anything, but it was cheap and available. And now, like, honestly, my husband makes this grilled chicken that's like crispy with, I don't know how he does it. I've never had chicken like before, and it's amazing. So I'm just saying, maybe on one of your little jaunts south.
Yes, maybe he'll have to make it. I do make only 2 chicken dishes, and that's a balsamic chicken with fresh mozzarella cheese.
Yummy.
And then I make a chicken kind of casserole, which is also quite yummy. But that's it. Everything else in my house is steak or fish or pasta. Sorry.
Those are good choices. I'd be fine
I
with
agree.
those.
Wendy Murdoch is an internationally recognized equestrian instructor and clinician for over 30 years, author of several books and DVDs, and creator of Ride Like a Natural and the Surefoot Equine Stability Program. Wendy's desire to understand the function of both horses and humans and her love of teaching capitalizes on the most current learning theories in order to show riders how to exceed their own expectations. For lovers of the Murdoch method, our friend Wendy is releasing a new online course, The Whole Rider, this May, for women riders who struggle to find comfort in the saddle and want to achieve harmony with their horses. Learn new possibilities of movement with guided, unmounted lessons to improve body awareness and function so you can do what you want on the horse. Sign up now to be on the list when it launches at thewholerider.com.
Moving on. Today we're going to talk, which is actually, I'm super excited about this topic because boy, do I have stories for you. Now, we're going to talk about adult horse shows, and you showed mostly as a child, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It was good. It was fun, but I think we could admit we're a little different than we were physically and mentally when we were children.
I would agree with that statement.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. 7 years ago, I decided to man up, woman up, adult up, whatever you want to call it, and do a schooling show at my local barn with a horse that I was quarter leasing.
Okay.
So we were going to do a crossrail class. Everything was great. I killed those baby crossrails. I'm just saying, I spent way too much money on the clothing that I've probably never worn since. I crushed it, and I came in second place.
Nice.
Okay. Awesome. Here's the thing. My husband and children were there to support me, and after the show, which, by the way, I did take a nip of something before, and I did not sleep for 3 days prior to. I was an anxious mess. My husband goes to me and he goes, "You were the only adult in that class." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "So you're basically Billy Madison, and you're just taking ribbons from children."
Oh my God.
And he wasn't wrong. But also, I got second place, motherfucker. So
I think the main difference between Billy Madison and this is that our roles are switched. The children hog all the ribbons in this sport. I mean, I've seen like literal legal complaints about this in like, the A circuit sort of posts and stuff where they want to change the ages of who can be in amateur classes and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand it fully because that's not my world, but like, kids own this sport, and then the rest of us are just fighting for the scraps. So get in there and kick their asses.
Well, I mean, it never happened again because the next show I ended up letting someone else girth my horse, and then we were transitioning down from canter to trot, and my whole saddle went sideways and I landed on my butt.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing, because you know me. So I land on my butt, we had come to a stop, and as I get up, I dust off my pants, and then I bow to the judge, right? So, again, schooling show. Not only did she not disqualify me, I mean, I didn't win, let's be honest. So I was never going to win. I came off. But she gave me points for style.
Oh my
and
God.
really, let's be honest, that's all I want in life is points for style.
Yeah, I'd say you won that day.
I did win that day.
That's so impressive. I know I would have like nodded and raised my hand politely to the judge, but it would have been a really formal, British Horse Society's kind of salute. It would not have been anything stylish.
Oh no, I bowed. I was full on, and everyone's laughing, and kind of because I was embarrassed, and of course my family had just walked up, and that happened. But at the end of the day, I have to laugh at myself. But I haven't really done a show since, and it's not that I'm against them. It just I realized it really was not worth the anxiety.
Yeah.
That being said, I would 100% be interested in a show, like a fun show with adults who are with my like physical limitations, right? Everybody with like sore hips, sore backs, sore knees, who just want to have fun. I think that sounds like a blast.
Yeah, and I think it should be in the evening. And it should only
happy hour
last
time.
Exactly. And the classes should only last maybe 90 minutes. And so that you can get down to happy hour. Like you don't want to like miss having a proper like sunset drink. I think that's really important to me. Like my sunset time is big. So if it were from like 5 to 6:30, you had your classes and then you put the horses in to eat or you let them graze and you start a bonfire and start passing bottles around. That would be my ideal horse show. I
agree. And also I would like to say, I feel like you should get extra dessert. If you come off, you get double the dessert.
Oh, a dessert table. It could be
Yes.
potluck, right?
Yes.
Oh, somebody would stop at Publix and get the tiramisu that says tiramisu on top. So you know it's tiramisu. That's always good.
Yeah. And avoid the ice cream because that's just going to melt. You don't want that.
Yeah. Maybe
But
just cookies.
I'm slowly grooming my trainer into this idea because there's a couple of adult riders at the barn that I'm all really close with. And my friend Jill hasn't ridden in a while. So she called me up and she was like, hey, what do you think about us doing a group lesson? I said, awesome. Pony's just getting back. I said, it's been a real shit show of a month. Why don't we do a wine and ride?
Right.
And she goes, what's that? And I said, oh, don't you worry. Just show up with a solo cup. And she brought her little her thermos, and I brought a couple solo cups. I poured everybody, the trainer and everybody who was riding, a glass of wine, and we all had to practice riding one-handed because we were drinking with the other hand. And that was our lesson.
That's gorgeous. I've never done that. I feel very jealous and sad that I was not there.
You should do it. That's how you practice your neck grading with Ben.
Because I can't even. I can't even neck grade Ben.
So what kind of classes would you like to see in an adult horse show?
I think I like the idea of not crashing while you drink a glass of wine. I think that's a nice one. So maybe an obstacle course where there's 4 jump standards with nothing between them, and you just walk your horses through them.
And if you don't spill while drinking, you win.
You have to take a sip for every so-called jump that you go through,
and not dribble down your cleavage and chin.
Yeah, or yes. I'm trying to think if there's a way that you could somehow game the system and get bonus points for spilling as much as possible over your front like an idiot, like the worst. Because it has to be an accident. So
there has to be like a jester prize.
Yes. Or maybe that could be like sort of a division prize would be like bustiest.
Well,
most bosomy wine drinker.
So maybe we could have a special talent class because I have a special talent because I am busty. I've never
bounciest posting trot boobs.
Well, that happens too, but I have a party trick. Did I ever tell you about my party trick?
No.
Oh my God. It is guaranteed to be classy and trashy all at the same time. So I've been doing this since I was in college as like, my friends like to be like, oh my God, yeah, let's do our party tricks. And they're like, Heather, and I'm the first one up. So I'll stick a beer bottle in my cleavage and then no hands. I'll pick it up with my mouth, drink, and then put it back.
For real?
For reals.
Why have you never done this for me? That's incredible.
Because you need to earn it. And I don't know if you have deserved that yet.
I haven't earned boob beer. Everything
telling
that
you
we've
right
been
now.
through together.
It's definitely harder to put it back in now. But I feel like if I could at least take it out, drink it, and then grab it with my hand without
Yeah.
spilling, then that's a win at the age of 45.
That's incredible. You two wear a special bra to make that
So
happen.
classy. I'm so classy. I'm just telling you. So imagine if we could do party tricks while on horseback.
Yeah.
I want to know if someone's got party tricks now.
Yeah, we're going to have to. I don't. Obviously, I'm not good at parties.
Your party trick is standing in the corner and pretending
Yeah.
like you're nice to
Yeah, my
everybody.
party
not
trick
thinking
is,
mean
oh, look, a
thoughts.
dog. My party trick is having conversations about books with the weirdest guy there in the kitchen. The last time I displayed that was at a New Year's Eve party in Brooklyn. It was a great night. I talked to a guy in a purple velour jacket about books until 11:58, and then we went on the roof and watched fireworks. And I came back down, and my husband had gotten seriously drunk, like remarkably drunk, because the person he'd fallen in with was like, let's have a whiskey tasting.
Oh my God.
That was a great night. That was maybe the last party I went to, like, ever. It was a long time ago, but you really couldn't top it.
That is a party trick, I guess.
So I guess if I could corner somebody and make them talk to me about books while everybody else is riding, that would be my entry.
Oh my God. I have to wonder how, like, if anybody else has party tricks that we could potentially bring into the ring.
Yeah. This is becoming a virtual horse show situation.
This really is. And, of course, I don't know how safe it would be for me to bring a glass bottle into an arena, but I think my breasts are big enough to serve as a great holder for that. So
I think Zima might come in a plastic bottle.
that sounds a little sweet. I'm sure I can come up with something. If someone wants to really do a virtual horse show, which we've had the idea of for a while,
Yeah.
then I would film that for everybody for the clubhouse.
That
But
would be
that would be
great.
like, for your eyes only people. That might be a Patreon page
It
situation.
was subscriber content.
Just so that doesn't get out
You
completely.
can put a black bar on it for public consumption. Meanwhile, I'm in the back corner of the video, earnestly waving my hands while I talk about Michael Chabon. Like, no, Moonglow is a masterpiece.
While the horses are dozing.
Yeah, they just have their heads down. The reins are dangling. We're good at this.
We've got to be masters at something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just find what you're good at and do that.
There could be like a horsemanship thing where everybody just wanders off and does the thing they like the best. Where it's literally just like, what do you like to do around the barn that makes you feel chill? And somebody's like, I just really like to scrub water buckets. And somebody else like, I just like to curry comb horses. And I'm just picking up manure. It's different. It's a way of being alone together. Very calming.
Yeah. But to make it if you were going to make it competitive, though, you'd probably need to put a timer on it or.
No, you
something
measure
like
everyone's
that.
heart rate afterwards and see who's the calmest.
Yeah, right. Who's the most zen?
Yeah. I walk over all peaceful, like, I just mucked out that whole pasture. I
Better
have
than
no
Valium.
concerns.
I have this one girl at the barn who's obsessed with grooming, but she's got a gray horse, so she'll go into the wash stall and she'll be in the wash stall for an hour, and we'll all be waiting. And finally, I'll go up to her and be like, Margaret, there's a line, because her happy place is just bathing her horse.
That's sweet.
Oh,
Is your
she's
horse
so
all
sweet.
pruny?
He's a sweetheart.
I bet he smells
sweetheart.
good.
Oh, well, and he's gray, but he never looks dirty because she's so thorough. She goes through bottles of conditioner. She wraps his tail. I mean,
Oh,
this horse
wow.
she ended up getting him last summer, so, horse dreams come true.
Oh, yeah, she's honeymooning.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, every day I go, I should really buy a detangler and brush Ben's tail out. and another
Oh,
month
yeah.
passes. I should really buy detangler and brush Ben's tail out.
I went to go to the barn and I was de-shedding the horses, and Delight I had braided when it was like 90 degrees up here. And then I'm like, oh, I should probably take some of these remaining braids out, right? Because they were kind of gone feral. He had an actual dread. Like he had one braid that had come out and formed dread. And I was like, I'm bad.
Ooh.
Also, I had it in my brain that his birthday was tomorrow, but I was wrong. And his old owner and my best friend calls me up this morning and she goes, remember, today's Delight's birthday. So I'm a terrible mom. I don't even know when he was born.
I don't know when Ben was born. In fact, the dentist aged him 5 years older than I thought he was. So that kind of sucked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was a bummer. I was like, oh, there goes 5 years of our life together. So sad.
Well, I mean, look at Ferris. He's 15, but he's basically 25 in his body, physical age. So
Yeah, it can happen to the best of us.
yeah, exactly.
So we've got party tricks, riding around, drinking wine, obstacle course. That's very easy. Zen horsemanship. What's next? I actually looked in my notes to see if I had made notes on our virtual horse show idea, and I had very little.
How about this is something I struggle with: mounting bareback, like mounting without the stirrups from a mounting block. Still can't do it.
No, I can't do that.
No, none of us can because
So what is this class? Just mayhem.
that could be. I don't. Well, because it would be funny, right? The whole goal is to have fun. So, like, I had to use a standard once, and I got on, and then I overshot the pony because I didn't realize my own strength, and I completely went flying.
Can we have someone at the horse's head for this? Can we have an assistant?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay,
yes,
because
we don't
otherwise
wanna
that would be
die.
very dangerous.
Yeah, we don't want to die, but I mean, that might be an option. Is like mounting gracefully. would be-
Okay, I
would
like
be-
that. I like that.
And there could be different levels. Mounting, from a mounting block with stirrups, mounting bareback, like is the more advanced version. I can't do it.
That's a trick in itself. Mounting bareback. No. That's you're throwing yourself onto a banana peel. Like a horse is very slippery, so
I get either a groin pull if I go leg first,
Yeah.
or I pull out my rib if I try to like place my body over and then yank my leg over. So like regardless, it's a sack of potato situation.
Yeah. That's a 15-year-old's game.
No. Okay, so we're gonna nix that idea. That was a terrible idea.
Well, but
All right,
the
so we gotta think
mounting
of something else.
block with a handler seems appropriate.
How about, but again with the drink, you've got to mount with stirrups and a saddle, but you have to mount with a drink in one hand without spilling it. So that means you have to get nicely on their back.
That would take a lot of practice.
I feel like I'd be really good at it, but I'm also happy to spend every happy hour from now until the show to practice.
Yeah. So it's good schooling.
I agree. You got to put in the training time.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And everyone has to get the same pour, right? So it's
Right.
even.
Like a line. You could have a line on the glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I had an idea. So they do this at like the therapeutic riding centers. They have like horseback games where you can go and like throw a beach ball into like a hula hoop or something like that.
Okay.
Right? That might be kind of fun.
That one's got to come late, like after the so maybe like the obstacle course could be the first one so you can start drinking because your inhibitions have to be lowered enough for you to want to throw a ball in front of people by a later class.
Yeah.
Because we don't, part of being an adult is being embarrassed about stupid things, I think. Like your inability to throw a ball. You're like, I'm 45 years old. At no point did I ever need to throw a ball in my life. So why be worried about my ability now? But, it's
Well,
there.
alternately, those big soccer balls they have for the horses where they can like they push them,
Yeah, I've seen those.
right?
Uh-huh.
So I actually have them for my horses, and first of all, every time I pull out the ball, Ferris flips out. He loves it so much, it's ridiculous. Like he plays straight up soccer, and he'll kick it to me. It's and Delight so I think maybe we could do that. We could do teams even, where you could do 1-on-1 or 2-against-2, and you could try to get the ball through a goal via horseback.
This is the giant ball?
The giant ball on the ground, so there's no
Yeah.
throwing.
Right. Yeah.
So the horse would basically push with their legs or their noses, and you would just kind of walk them through it, and then other people would try to take the ball away from you. So you have to good horses. You have to have good horses, but it's all about the training, baby.
I mean, I like it. I probably would be hesitant to enter it because at this point it's a team sport, and that's hard for me. Being partners with somebody is difficult for me.
I love that you give me side eye right now. I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Takes a lot for me to sign on to something with somebody else. But it exists. If it's part of the night, it's part of the night after all.
Well, you could do that towards the end of the evening,
right,
when you're a little bit more,
I gotta loosen
shall
up.
we say, fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly. I need some goggles to replace my glasses, if you will.
Sport goggles. Sport mode activated.
Sport mode. I actually do have to order riding glasses because my Warby Parkers they slide all the way down my nose as I'm riding. So I have this old pair of like plastic ones, and I put those on to ride, but of course the prescription is old. So I'm like a little wonky while I'm riding. And then I switch back to these when I dismount, and then I'm really wonky for a few minutes. Might be why I have a headache pretty much every day, because I keep doing that to myself. So I should probably order riding glasses. Yeah.
I have special glasses I use for riding. They're not, they're just older glasses that I don't care if they get broken, and they're a little tighter on my face.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if I'm cantering around, right, and the glasses are slipping, and
they
I'm like,
do.
wait, I got one hand.
Yeah. And what was happening was these were going all the way to the tip of my nose, like they were going to come off. And it was, I was still dealing with a very tense Ben. He's not as tense now, thank goodness. And so if I put the reins in one hand to push them back up, he would like take off. Like, I'm not even kidding. He would just bolt. I was like, what is happening?
He's like, this means go.
I don't know what dumb little kid taught him that while he was away from me. I was like barrel racing him or something. Oh, so it was getting dangerous. So we're past that now.
Yeah. We need, and that leads me to, so you're going to get sport goggles, or glasses, but we need to have some kind of t-shirt uniform for people, right? So we can have like Adulting with Horses horse show t-shirts that people can wear while they ride.
Yeah. Should it have it? Well, you're really good at logos because you did that new logo for the Patreon, which is just with the neon. Cute? It's so cute. I think we should have stuff for that. All of our logos are all done by you, and all deserve t-shirts and hats and vests and
we just need time to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You're a merch goddess.
Well, maybe a baby goddess because I'm the creative, but my follow-through sucks.
Yeah. We're both, that's a problem for us. We're both a little lacking in that department right now, but I'm sure it will come together, just like this horse show we're planning.
Yeah. Well, and if we have any auditors who are really good at merch and want to volunteer to help us out, in exchange for free merch, and lots of shout outs and appreciation and liquor, let us know.
Yeah. No, and I would just add to that, you can't expect a lot of input from us, because that's the problem I run into, is that people will offer to help me with stuff, but then they need my input, and I can't. If I had time to give you the input, I might have time to do the work myself. Yeah,
self-starter. We need someone who's
exactly.
a self-starter who
you got to tell us what you're going to do. You tell us.
And then we're going to just say, yes, that's a great idea.
That's 100% how we do business.
That is actually, I hired an assistant for social media for the Timid Rider. I shouldn't say an assistant. She's basically managing my life. And it's great because she just tells me what to do and what she needs, and then I post things that I need. But she's like, "Oh, you haven't talked about this." I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right. I would like someone to babysit me a little bit, to be honest. I think I need I need someone to watch me."
I'm this close to jumping on the assistant train. Like, I'm not even kidding.
No, you should.
I think it's happening this year. I've actually reached out to some people about like very specific items, but I'm getting closer to just like, all right, I need someone to manage my life, so let's go.
Well, that's it. When we're the creatives, okay? We can't focus on every aspect of our life, and we need some help sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that we've gotten to this point, that we're able to write and have other jobs and add in the podcast is like incredible.
It is. And also part of the reason why I'm like constantly like trying to juggle. I had to make this announcement soon. I have to shut down my new clients again because I'm already scheduling 6 weeks out for body work, and that's not fair.
Right.
So, my regular clients are fine, but new people who want to come on board, like, unless I can find a little hole for them, they got to wait till June, and that's not okay in my book. So, June, July, and August, I have my kids.
Yeah.
So I can actually have to work less. So
I liked the email that your business sent out. I hope you don't mind my sharing.
Which one is that?
You said you're changing to summer hours, and because traffic is so bad going to the beach, you can't work. I was like,
that is actual fact.
What a localized issue. That's hilarious.
I live at the beach, okay? And Fridays suck. Trying to and it's starting already because it's been so nice. Everyone's going to their beach houses who live in the city or up in north or out west. And I will sit there. Like, I had 3 clients cancel on me because they couldn't make it because they were sitting in traffic they didn't expect.
That sucks.
So, it's for me and it's for them. But also I have a lot of events on Fridays. Mm-hmm. So this way I go to the event, the office is closed, everything's situated. But yeah, I mean, things are going really well with work. And unfortunately part of that is having to figure out what you can spend time on and what you cannot spend time on.
I had a book release today. I haven't even made a Facebook post about it. It's not great. And it's possibly one of my better books, like top 5 books. And I've had people who read the early copy like respond to me like, this is my favorite book you've ever written. And I haven't like really asked people to post reviews yet. Like, I've done almost nothing. I haven't made a paperback of it. I just had too much else going on.
I get it.
Finish releasing a new book, I had too much else going on. Like, that's insane. But
and that includes talking to me. So
it does. It's all humbled. Work. None of it's a tiny amount of it is family. Tiny. Because Calvin comes home from college next week.
Oh wow.
So that's this room that I record in, I lose.
It's gone.
And I haven't made a backup plan yet.
That's okay. I don't know what I'm going to do when my kids are home for the summer too, because they take all my Wi-Fi.
Right.
So we're going to have to, I might have to go into the office on a day where it's closed and just record there.
That's a great, I should go to the library. Can you imagine me in one of those little rooms in the library, like hooting and hollering, and the lady outside being, making her librarian face at me. She'd be like, I used to like you, but
now you're ridiculous.
Like, ma'am.
All right. So I think we need to talk about some of the ribbon ideas.
Yes. Yeah, because the ribbons don't really have to, they're special prizes, right? So they don't really have to relate to like 1st through 6th or something like that. They could just be almost like our I Adulted Today badges.
Yes, our stickers.
Like I rode today, so I get a badge kind of thing. Because I had posted in our Facebook group, and these were not my ribbons. I don't know whose ribbons these were.
They were genius.
They were so funny. So the one ribbon said, there's always next time. At least you didn't cry. I would kill for that ribbon. And then the other one says, well written. In fact, no one is quite sure how you stayed on. God damn, that's a good ribbon.
That is a good one. That is a good one. And I think we've been talking for a while about doing a virtual Adulting with Horses horse show. Yes. So I think maybe we need some of our auditors to chime in and let us know if they're interested, because obviously we don't want to put in all the work if no one wants to do it.
Right.
But they did have some great ribbon suggestions, which I think are, we should read.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna do Alyssa's first because I don't know if anybody has ever watched oh shit, I can't even think of which show it is. There's a fuck, I can't remember. It might be How I Met Your Mother, where somebody is as an actor and I don't remember, and it was like, oh no, it's 30 Rock. Where I only watch 5 shows, but they're all the same show in my head at this point. They just like blend together. But it was like, oh, I think the lighting was really great. It was one of those shows where, you just damn with faint praise because it was such a terrible show. Alyssa kind of kills it with hers. Very nice tail. It's like, that's the best we can do, babe. Or well groomed. That's it. That's all you're getting. Get out of my ring. I really like those.
I feel like I'd have to really earn those because people always like to comment on my grooming.
Yeah.
Sarah Hegner, who is another author, she wrote, "At least you got your lead change." And I feel like that's for the advanced students,
But how many times I feel like you hear somebody walk out of the ring, and I've heard trainers say, "At least you got your lead change."
Absolutely. And
in hunters, if you don't get your lead change, you're dead.
You're done.
So you could plow through every jump, but at least you got your lead change.
That's right. That's right. And I'll tell you right now, that's one I know I'd get because Pony has auto changes when I put his muscle on correctly. So, I feel like I might actually score a ribbon on that one.
Years ago when I was eventing, I took my horse in a hunter class, and somebody said, "You need to change leads in the corner." And I said, "Why? My horse always lands on the correct lead." And they're like, "No, that's not how it works. He has to land on the outside lead and change to inside." I'm like, that's ridiculous. Why would I do that?
That's so stupid. Why would you do that?
I'm like, I need him to land on the correct lead so we can go to the next jump. They're like, "You're not in jumpers anymore, bitch." So, okay.
Wow.
There wasn't actually a bitch, but that's how it felt.
That felt like it felt really judgy.
Yeah, it was really judgy. Of course, I was judging them for changing their leads.
Right, exactly.
Well,
and I will say I'm very proud because Ferris has such an easy lead change. If I drop my hip to the right, he switches. If I drop my hip to the left, he switches. I don't even need to use my hands.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So he's doing good on that. So Sarah, I'm with you. I would like that ribbon so I can earn it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'd like to look at that on my wall.
Yeah, right.
Christiana Goff wrote this one for me specifically, I think. Nice spook at the ghost.
I think we'd all relate to that one.
Yeah.
And I think there should be points for how big the spook is and how well sat it is, right?
Oh, you don't want to go up against Ben's spook. All right.
Is he a wheeler? I forget. Is he a drop the shoulder and wheel?
No, he tends to like prop his forelegs in front of him and scramble back a stride very fast.
Oh, so you're like dipped forward onto his forehand?
Exactly. Because he's a horse that will go on the offensive. So he doesn't run away from something. He just backs off to get a look at it, I think. Because if he's scared of something that he can see, he will charge it, which is exciting.
That's how Delight is too. Delight's brave.
Yeah.
He doesn't spook very often, but when he does, he's like a sit and bolt forward, but he only goes about 3 strides and then he can come right back because his brain kicks in. But his last spook, which I thankfully wasn't riding, was he lost his balance and then started vertical bucking like bronc style.
Yeah.
I would have been pile driven into the dirt. So my trainer won some major points for that one. But Ferris's spook goes from the startle, the Bambi startle, to the sideways. I'm going to just keep going forward, but around the imaginary ghost,
right,
to the drop the shoulder and wheel until you come flying over his head and land in front of him.
Yeah. So basically greatest hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the spook really makes the points there.
We should do at some point, I think we should do like a deep study of spooks. books. We can get lots of like peer reviewed information.
I think we need videos for
The
that. That'd be
spooking
great.
episode. We'll put that in the notes.
I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna like also apologize for my dogs because they're out and probably barking.
Oh.
So Liza Sibley says, "Nice braids."
Nice braids. I mean,
I like it.
They're hard to
Put
get.
in the work before the show,
Yeah.
and that's what matters.
Mm-hmm. And that
I
might
like
be
it.
your zen as well, is doing braids. So
And
you
maybe
might-
that's where your skill ends, and that's okay too,
Yeah.
because you still got skill. Okay.
Shelby came in hard with the eventing ones. At least the water combination cooled you off. And then one I've used on myself. At least you finished.
I say that to my husband sometimes too, but I'm
Somehow I knew that was coming.
See, for me, I had to add one to this because I was like, well, that leads me to, well, at least you got on.
Again.
Well, no, I mean, ever, because I have such debilitating anxiety when it comes to shows.
Yeah.
That like just getting in the saddle is a huge
Sure.
award-winning moment for me.
Maybe, yeah. And I guess an honorable mention could be, nice job hopping back on.
Yeah, exactly. So Anita Kennedy wrote, she had quite a few here. Maybe we might have to take turns on these. So she says, my favorite dressage judge comments have been, so this means that she's received them personally.
These are real.
Yeah, these are real. Piaf not required at this level. I was writing intro on a very opinionated draft gelding.
That is,
I feel like Piaf should always be accepted.
it should be. It's not required, but it's encouraged.
If
It's
the
a
horse can do it, you
bonus.
should show it off. Set
I
yourself
agree.
apart.
An intro for the uninitiated is a walk trot dressage test. So the same gelding she got, sort of a long one, but I think the ending is perfect for a ribbon. Rider needs to allow horse to relax, although given how he galloped around with you before entering the ring, I can understand your reluctance to let go of him. I understand your reluctance is a fun, that's a fun term. Your reluctance is appreciated. Take it up a notch. Thanks for staying
How
in
can
the
we
ring.
allow him to relax? We're bolting, okay? We're bolting. There's no relaxing right now. This is emergency breaks. Thank you. So Anita's last one, but definitely not least, and one I can absolutely relate to, is, are you new to this? Her second show on her baby horse, who was a bit expressive and exuberant in the ring, even though she's been doing this for a decade.
So that one feels a little mean-spirited. I don't think I would use that.
I feel like the judge is a bitch.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an unkind judge. Like, she could have at least written, is your horse a baby? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, you got to give points to graying horses a little bit. My God.
That's like, that's when I start feeling like a customer, and I'm like, I paid you money. I did not come here for you to be offensive. I will ask the questions.
But you're still paying someone to judge you and give you hopefully constructive criticism.
Right.
So let's keep it positive, people.
That's not helpful. Are you new to this?
Not
Is
helpful
not
at all.
helpful at all. Piaf
Yeah.
not required.
Anita, if you want to let me know where that judge lives, we can have a chat with her. It's cool.
Yeah, we might need to like go. We'll like spray paint a message on her lawn. Like, you're mean.
It's TP season.
When she comes out, what? I mean, I like it.
I agree. 100%. And then obviously, if she doesn't know what it's about, then she doesn't listen to our podcast, which means she deserves to get marked.
Deserves
Okay.
whatever she gets. Oh my God.
You would like this next one.
Oh, matchy on point. An eventer's dream, I suppose.
That's definitely your vibe.
That's from Claire Stafford. Yeah, I am fallen a little bit. I don't do matchy to the point where I put things on my horse that my horse doesn't need, which I think is a thing. But I do like the things that I use to match. That is correct.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't want to be an eyesore.
No, I just
You don't
like
need to
everything
match
to be like mint colored. I'm just sort of obsessed with it.
Well, and I have he doesn't listen because he's probably a little too young for this show, which is probably for the best. But I have a gentleman at the barn who is obsessed with peach for his
Oh.
chestnut thoroughbred.
Ooh.
And so even the bell boots are peach, which, let's be honest, is just a recipe for disaster because mud.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've said that before though, that the light colored boots are so pretty in the ads, but they're not going to stay that color, folks.
No. It seems like a lot more maintenance work, and I like to do the least amount possible. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Julianne says, one of my favorites was eye-catching entry as my young horse cantered straight down center line and slammed to a halt at X with no help for me in a walk trot test.
That's awesome. That's like
Make it an entrance.
falling down the stairs at the Met Gala.
Oh, that would be me, yeah.
It's
I
like
think about the time that I fell, I was wearing heels and I was standing still and I fell backwards and landed on my head.
oh my God.
Standing still. And then I sprained my ankle and I had to walk to my car in February degrees with one shoe on.
Eye catching exit.
I like attention, okay, apparently. But I think that entry is guaranteed to catch the judge's eye.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good if you have
Yeah.
a plain bay horse, that might get forgotten otherwise, because maybe he's not very expressive in his trot. So you just canter in like, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's
Gotta be
technically
remembered
off
somehow.
course. Yeah.
That might be a good ribbon,
Eye
like
catching.
dramatic entrance,
Dramatic entrance is better. Yeah.
right?
I like that a lot, actually. Dramatic entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
Trisha's got some good ones here. The first one is, at least you missed the judge.
always a bonus.
And
Try not
then,
to name anybody.
well, that's especially, I think that happens a lot with dressage when they're sitting like right in front of you. Like if the horse hadn't stopped at X, if Julianne's horse had just kept cantering, you could have ended up on the trailer with the judge. And then beautiful, unplanned dismount. Fall
Which
with style.
is, yes, the fall with style, and that's exactly how I got my points, on that one show. So
Yeah.
been there, done that, got the ribbon.
Oh,
No, I'm just
shit.
kidding. I didn't get the ribbon, but I
Yeah.
should have. I think those are great ideas, and it's really kind of interesting how those are real comments from a lot of judges.
Yeah. I didn't even think, I don't know where my old tests are. I never thought to drag anything out. I only ever had one spectacularly bad test, which I've talked about before. And I have no idea what the judge wrote or even kept the test because the horse was so bad and the judge was so rude that I was just like, forget it.
At that point, just burn it. You don't need to know.
Yeah, I probably didn't keep it. No memories there.
Yeah. All right, perfect. So we've decided, okay, auditors, we're going to do a poll and you're going to let us know, should we arrange a virtual horse show? You can help make suggestions of classes. We'll videotape it, have entries, and we'll make some ribbons to send your way. So let us know in the clubhouse or contact us through Patreon, however you like.
We'll make a
But
post on both of those. Throw up a post.
yes,
That's easy to comment
I think we'll
on.
have to make a post. Because I think this would be a lot of fun. Hey, Weird Horse Girls, Heather here. Wanted to let you know about something very exciting. Natalie and I are rolling out a Patreon page for our listeners. That's right. So this won't be the same old content that's on all the players. Oh no. What we're going to be doing is offering 3 major things to you. 1, Patreon members will be able to ask us questions, and we're going to answer them on the air. We're also going to be doing a monthly bitch session where we're going to be talking about a topic completely unfiltered and full of opinions. And 3, any bonus episodes that we publish will be given to you exclusively early before it's launched on major players. So join our Patreon, and can't wait to see what you guys think. And also, Natalie, we have to move on because we have adulting wins of the week.
Adulting wins of the week. Dun, 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 dun.
Your intro is always funny. I always use your intros as sound bites.
Do I do this a lot?
every time.
Oh shit.
My favorite that I use as a soundbite often is adulting wins of the week. Ugh.
Oh my God. So I don't often listen all the way through the show.
Apparently.
So I'll usually listen to like 20 or 30 minutes, and then that's like while I'm grooming. And then when I mount, I put on either a lesson or like jazz music.
Well, you don't want to listen, we don't want to be completely narcissistic, right?
Well,
And listen to ourselves talk.
I'm afraid I would confuse Ben if he heard my voice.
Sure, keep on talking. So your intros are great.
Oh my God.
So sometimes I make fun of you publicly like that.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. What's your adulting win for the week?
I mounted from the ground the other day.
Really?
Yeah. So I had this story has a sad ending. I had this really intensely good ride on Sunday morning. I did this really good ride. I did a really thorough warm up, and I incorporated a bunch of skills that I've been working on with Ben, and then we actually cantered in either direction on a circle, which I haven't cantered him in about a month because I was working on his walk and his trot. And he came back down really nicely. And then I did a series of 4 trot pulls, which I have not done with Ben in a very long time. And he did really well with those. But I turned him around to take him from the other direction, and he kicked one out of place, the very light. And so I dismounted and I put them back into place. And then I just got right back on. Just like that.
Look at you, flexible.
Like a miracle. Yeah. So the sad ending is that yesterday I tacked Ben up and I noticed that his back was sore. Yeah. And I was like, did I do that when I mounted him from the ground?
Maybe.
Maybe. But he seems better today. So oops. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. We could go into a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
No judgment. Let's just applaud that you are flexible enough to do it.
Yeah, strength, baby. It's coming. Because it's for safety's sake, you need to be able to mount from the ground, even if it's not something that you ever do regularly. So it's really nice to know that the option exists.
Yeah. Well, when I take Delight out, I usually have to find like a picnic table or something of some such height.
Yeah.
And, he'll do it from the side. He'll do it from anywhere. You could get him from the right, from the left, from the side of the trailer. You just have to be able to, like, not fall while you're trying to mount up. But there is no physical way I can mount him from the ground based on his height. But I've done it from Ferris. I've taken him and, like, just stood on the upward side of a hill. So he was a little bit lower than me, and we were able to make it work. One time he did trot off with my one leg in the stirrup, hanging onto his side like a vaulter.
Yeah.
But we got there. We did it. I did pull a groin, but that's cool. Not flexible at all. I would like to say you should also shout out your book that you released that you did not.
Yeah, I had this book come out, and I was actually and while I'm shouting out weird shit that I've done, yesterday I recorded a podcast that came out today on a podcast called Book of the Mouse, which is about Disney and theme park related books. And we talked for like an hour and a half about my book, You Must Be This Tall, which is about, it's a novel about theme parks and people who work in theme parks. So we talked about that. Hopefully I didn't sound like I'd never read my book before, but I might have at certain points. Sometimes they ask you a question about a character and you're like, oh, did I write that character? That must have been someone else. It doesn't sound like me. And this book had like 6 main characters. So that was super fun. So that's a thing that exists. And then today I released The Regift Horse, which is book 3 in the Ocala Horse Girls series. And this is like a super fun working student / grumpy trainer romance. And I love it. And I think everybody is going to love it a whole bunch. It has lots of horses and eventing and angst and sexual longing and things like that in it. Yay.
I did see a page of that, and that was fun. That was what brought up that scene was what brought up our clean versus steamy romance.
Right, because it's still a clean romance.
Yeah.
But it has some longing in it, Some longing is
Hey.
important in any romance. So yeah.
I agree. I agree. Um,
Thank you.
so I have some good news. I mean,
Yay!
so my life is an actual clusterfuck right now because my family is just going through something. My daughter's going through something, and that's kind of taking the toll.
Yeah.
But work is going well. So, I mean, work is going amazingly. We're thinking about opening up a new
Oh
location.
my gosh.
And I've been meeting so many amazing horses and dogs and things like that. But I'm so happy. So, two things about the horses. Ferris has gone off of his Lyme's medication. And I rode him the other day to see where he was at. And for those of you who don't know, he was a hunter and he was a really good advanced hunter back, before I stopped shopping him. And so he's got a lot of bells and whistles and he really likes it. So I took him out and tried to see where he was at. And there was a whole bunch of kids jumping in the ring while I was exercising him. And he thought he was going to jump. And I had a pony underneath me that I have not seen in a long time. He was excited. He was motivated. He was forward.
Wow.
And he thought he was going over those oxers.
Oh my goodness.
He did not. And the second he realized he was not going to do that, he was upset. So I've decided to set a goal for the fall that I'm going to get my ass up early in the morning in the summer so he could still be ridden lightly. But that we can work on him, and that way when the weather cools in the fall, we're getting back in the jump ring, and we're gonna let him have some fun with that because he wants it.
Right.
And he never asks for anything.
That's
and the other
amazing.
thing that I kind of alluded to is it's Delight's birthday. He turned 12.
What a fun age.
He is. He's the boy that will never grow up. He's Peter Pan. He gets better with age, but he's always got that, kind of frat boy mentality where like he just wants to play with his friends and party, but then like snuggle up with mom later and have her do his laundry. So,
Yeah.
so, it's his birthday week, so I'm going to spend a little time with him. So good news on the horse front this week, which is thankfully something to share because, it's been a little bum-worthy the last couple weeks.
Yeah. The last time the horse week that was a struggle. So it's really great that things are picking up again. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited. And I actually have 2 friends who are looking for a trail riding buddy, and they're just interested in walking, a little bit of trotting, but just like happy little pleasure trail rides through the woods, social hour kind of thing. So I think that is something I'm going to pursue with Delight and actually work on getting off property a little bit more this summer.
Wow. That's a big goal.
Yeah, we'll see if I actually do it. But, the thought's there. The intent is there.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Very nice.
All right. Thank you for being a little weird with us, Horse Girl. If you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your player of choice. Follow us on Instagram at Adulting with Horses Podcast, or even better, join our Adulting with Horses Clubhouse on Facebook, where you can become part of the show. Also, it's a great place to meet other horse crazy women.